Hello, I'm Jess, and today I'm going to be going through my entire Disney internship. So if you have an internship coming up in Burbank, or you're just interested to learn more about what it's like to work at the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, I'm really excited to share about my experience. This is something that I love to talk about, I love to hear about other people's experience, and it's just kind of a fun thing to look back at. So I figured the easiest way is I'm going to go through my camera roll and kind of talk through some of my favorite memories from the internship, kind of show what my office looked like, what my desk looked like, and what I did. I did a lot of like fun lunch things and after work activities. They had lots of fun things like that. I interned in 2019 from June to August for Freeform, and my internship was digital products. So that meant I worked on the Freeform TV app, mobile app, website, all of that. Now it's different. The product teams from Disney Channel, ABC, Freeform, they used to be separate when I worked there in 2019, and now they've combined. So the internship position doesn't exactly exist anymore, but digital products is still a very relevant role at Disney. So I'm going to start out. This was when I went to orientation called Disney Beginnings. Not exactly the same as in Florida. Basically, we just went onto the Walt Disney Studios. We got a little bit of a tour around the campus, and we took our pictures to get our IDs. This was what I wore. It was like 90 degrees. No, it was like 97 degrees or something. It was really hot in LA. And I just remember being so amazed to be at the studios for the first time. I was the kind of person kid that always dreamed about going to the studios, trying to figure out how I could like pay to get a tour there. And here I was just telling them my name at the gate, and they let me in. I remember that being a really amazing feeling. So when I first walked on, I was taking so many pictures of everything around the studios. It reminded me so much of like the documentaries I had watched, like Awakening Sleeping Beauty, like some of those documentaries about the older animators. All the footage is from these studios, and Saving Mr. Banks, of course, has footage from these studios. So here are the buildings, the trees. And then, of course, that iconic building with the 7 dwarfs is amazing. So that was kind of where we met. Here's the statue, the Disney Legends statue, and there's the Partners statue. They have all the handprints from the Disney Legends people. And so that's kind of where we met a bunch of other interns. And actually, I met a friend at that orientation that I hung out with throughout the entire internship. So that was fun. We went to the Frank G. Wells building, which is where there were a lot of offices, and a lot of the lunch events would happen in that building. And then we got a tour around the studios, and I thought it was hilarious. You can kind of see in the background of this picture, Steve Aoki was walking around campus. I don't know why. I remember he was like feeding a squirrel or something, but it was just crazy for that first day to already have like a celebrity sighting. The Sherman Brothers stage, so there are all these sound stages that they don't film in as much anymore, but sometimes the doors were open and I could see, some TV shows they were filming there. Here's where I got my blue ID, which was exciting. And then the Disney ABC building. So I was working for Freeform, which partnered a lot with ABC and was under that Walt Disney Television branch. So I went into that ABC building a lot. And then right across from the ABC building is the Walt Disney Animation building, which obviously is the most amazing one. I got to go in there twice. I wished I could have gone more. So then I worked in a building that was, so there's the Walt Disney Studios, and then there's a little bus that goes around. There's Burbank and Glendale, and there are a few different offices. So my bus was, like my office I worked at was like a 5-minute bus ride away. So sometimes I would just take the bus to a lunch event at the studios and then bus back to my building, which was just a little farther west into Burbank. It was a really tall building, and Freeform, Radio Disney, Disney Channel, and those kinds of things were all in that building. So I was on like the 7th or 9th floor, something like that. Freeform had 2 floors in like this 20-floor building. So this was when you got off the elevator, they had this little room that had Freeform stuff. And then when I got to my desk for the first time, they had all these Freeform goodies for me, which was fun. And then I remember walking around the building for the first time. They have cabinets. This has like a wand from Wizards of Waverly Place, something from Casey Undercover, boots from Hannah Montana, so a lot of Disney Channel stuff. And then they would do yogas every week, which I would usually join. And I met some fun people there from like other departments in the company that I wouldn't have met otherwise. Here's another look at part of the office. Here's an outfit I wore to work once and took a selfie in the bathroom. And then this is around the Freeform floor, a cool mural, the Teen Choice Awards, which is really funny. Here's a little bit more about in the office. There was a cereal bar, which was really cool. So that was a nice snack if I was ever hungry. I would often bring my own lunch, but if I just needed a snack, I would go get some cereal. They had goldfish too. And then they also had a bunch of arcade games. People didn't play them that much, but it was kind of a fun little break room. And then this is a picture from a meeting every Friday, or like once a week or once a month. They would have a free-form overall meeting where they would go through the viewing data for how the different shows went, and they would have wine of the month, so once a month, and they would give us wine. That was cool. And then there were a lot of really cool restaurants right around where I work. So for lunch, this is my boyfriend who came visited. We got ramen, and then I made him take pictures of me on the studio lot with my name tag. I kind of walked him around. There were some tunnels under the animation buildings that are on the Walt Disney Studio lot. Here's some pictures from inside the Walt Disney Animation Building, which is always so fun to see. Like every hallway is just lined with the most amazing art. I just loved it. And then this is the Glendale lot. So at Glendale, they have Imagineering. That's the biggest thing, but they also have other departments too. And then here's also some pictures from Walt Disney Imagineering, which is pretty cool. They have great stores there. I'd visit those stores all the time. One day walking around the studio lot, I saw that they were filming Mixed-ish, so I had to walk around that, and I just thought that was hilarious. And then in the main building, so basically behind the Seven Dwarfs, I sometimes would just go in there and walk around. Like, I didn't know anybody that worked in that building, but I realized they had some cool stuff in there, like this big Sully and Mike, this Rose from Beauty and the Beast, this glass slipper from Cinderella, a stormtrooper. So that's where, like, on the top floor of that building is where all the executives work. And then in one building there's Marvel Studios. So here's some pictures of when I walked around and found the Marvel Studios little lobby. And there's a big Cinderella chair. Okay, so then employee resource groups. That was a really cool thing that I was very involved with throughout my entire internship. There are Disney resource groups, which are basically like clubs for the employees. This one's called the Bond, so that's the Black Employee Resource Group. And there's a Latinx one, Asian American, LGBTQ+, and all of those groups are open to members of that community, but also just allies of that community that are interested in learning more about it. So I joined everyone because I feel really passionate about equality, diversity. I think that's like a really important thing, especially for a company as old as the Walt Disney Company, to address. So I attended all of those meetings whenever I could. So like this one was one on the Walt Disney Studios lot in the main theater. And they brought in different like Black speakers to speak about the experience of being Black and Black representation in Disney, and it was always really eye-opening, and sometimes there were some really cool directors, animators, actors. Here's another picture from a Pride employee resource group thing. For June is Pride Month, so they had this huge festival. There were tons of people. Here were two other interns with a photo op. And then Mickey and Minnie came out in their costumes, which I think this is one of my most iconic videos from the internship, in their little Pride rainbow outfits, and they were dancing around and came up to the stage, and that was pretty awesome. And then also for Pride Month, here were some speakers. So these were all actors from ABC shows, like Good Doctor. Oh, there's somebody from The Good Place, Modern Family, and so that was really cool. They each got to speak a lot. And then there was sushi, beer, cake, a lot of free food after, which was fun. And then this was my roommate and I had a little photo op at that event. Here's a meeting. This was another employee resource group meeting I went to for Pride Month. It was really cool. It was all about how they developed the first Pride Month product line. So, you know, the rainbow ears, rainbow shirt. Now we see that every year, every Pride Month, a new Pride line comes out, but that didn't used to exist. So this guy actually started it like 3 years ago, the first one, and so it's really cool to listen to him. And then they had a raffle for some of the things, and this cup I won, and I still use it all the time, which is kind of fun. Women at Disney is another employee resource group, so I went to a lot of talks for that, which was fun. Another thing that I went to was like there was a speaker who collected different stuff from Disneyland, so that was so cool. It was a lunchtime, everybody brought their lunch, they were eating salads, sandwiches, and this guy was just presenting his amazing collection of items from Disneyland. So stuff from the parking lot, stuff from rides, and that was just so cool to see and so cool to randomly do during a lunch break. There was also this forum one day that was the best of the research and development team at Imagineering. So they showed the cool like new porgs that were gonna walk around. And then we had one fun day where it was like the intern day. And so on Friday, all interns from Disneyland in Anaheim and the studio lot in Burbank, we all went to Disneyland. We got partnered with random people and did a scavenger hunt together. And so that was fun. And we got to see the screening. So The Lion King and Toy Story 4 came out during that summer. So Disney, every time a new movie would come out, they would rent out a theater, and on Saturday and Sunday morning at like 8 a.m. they had a screening just for employees, and you could get in for free. So I got to see The Lion King and Toy Story 4 during those screenings, which was cool. They had a lot of other fun intern happy hours where they had a photo op like this one. And then this was like one of the first weeks I was there, they had an intern event, so it was on the Glendale Imagineering campus, and you can see there are a bunch of interns here, and they had ice cream for us, and they had a raffle. I won like a coffee mug, which is cool. Then one day I was randomly walking around and stumbled upon some party for Disney Television Animation where they were giving away a bunch of free food, so I just grabbed a coconut. And one of the coolest things I got to do was Freeform. Runs the show called Disney Fairy Tale Weddings, so they were filming an episode of that. It's up on Disney Plus now if you want to watch it. It was the one where there was a flash mob wedding proposal. So somebody at Freeform mentioned it, the like executive producer of that show, and I said, "Can I go with you?" And she said, "Sure." So she said, "Meet me at Disneyland at 4 a.m. next Friday," and I was like, okay. And so I met her at 4 a.m. We went behind the scenes, and then like the whole family was there of the person that was getting proposed to. She honestly had no idea. We got there early and they were practicing the flash mob. I got to meet Allison and Twitch because they're the hosts. There was the confetti, and then like the park opened, and I was just so happy. I got breakfast. I was just walking around the empty park with the executive producers before it opened. And that was, I think, one of the coolest experiences of the entire summer. And she said, the executive producer, she said that she mentions all the time, "Oh, filming's going on if anyone wants to come." And no one ever goes. And she was really impressed that I actually went. And I was shocked because I'm like, of course I'm gonna go. Like, I know it was really early, but it was so worth it. And then actually after that day, I got a hotel room at the Disneyland Hotel. My family came and we stayed in the Disneyland Hotel and went to Disneyland the next day, so that was really fun. And then another thing we did was the Academy Awards. They would, like, they have their own interns, but they would invite the Disney interns to go to a lot of their events. So here they were hosting Raiders of the Lost Ark, and one of the actors from the movies ended up sitting directly next to me, which was really funny, and then he spoke after, which was really cool. So I went to 4 or 5 of those events maybe, which was like watching a movie, or they had a panel of people talking about special effects, and those were always really cool. And then we also got a tour around the Fox studio lot because Disney had just acquired 21st Century Fox, and that was really cool. We got to go into their archives. We couldn't take pictures, but we saw items from like Titanic and a bunch of old movies, which was cool. And then I got a ticket to D23 Expo during my last weekend of my internship. So it was really fun to go to the expo, and I repped my Freeform shirt and I found the Freeform booth. It was a lot of fun. So that was really long and a bunch of just random memories, but I hope that kind of gives an insight into what it's like to be a Burbank intern, what there's to do at Disney. Honestly, my boss and my team at my work were so nice to let me go and attend every special event that there was. I feel like I really made the most of my experience there as an intern and just took every learning opportunity that I could. And I definitely recommend that. Whether you're doing an internship with Disney or any other company, if they offer an extra learning thing, an extra class to sign up for, an extra fun event, do it. It's so worth it. You get to meet people and just really maximize your experience. So it was really worth it. Let me know if you have any other questions. I could go into depth, like I could tell so many more stories about all of this. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was entertaining and fun for some of you. See you later.